All right, welcome back. We are here for Trophy Gold, Leviathan's Bridge, and I believe this is part 4. So, uh, quite a few things happened last time. For the players that were here, I'd like to hear a little recap, if you don't mind, for the recording's benefit, as well as for James, who was unable to make it last time, but Hudjar was probably just wandering around buying stuff, didn't even realize there was anything going on or anything. So, yeah, let's hear what happened to Masero and Vendrick last time.
We were in the temple area. There were some folks fishing, I think, or no, not fishing, dropping off a body that we didn't interact with. We did interact with some plants that pulled us up the vampire vines, and also we got some guff from their compatriots, the giant crabs, I think. Um, we took care of those pretty easily, I think. But then we got ourselves into our own trouble.
Hmm. Yeah, basically, I think it started when Wendrick angered the spirit by desecrating a shrine using the sap from a holy tree, and then he was successful in um, pretending to be a predator of the creatures that attacked us, but unfortunately that attracted their predator. So he pretended to be like a heron that would hunt the crabs, and eventually a giant toad appeared and ate Vandrick because it thought, well, yeah, that might be yummy.
I also had some delicious orchid tea that gave me a new ritual,
Hmm.
moonlight.
But just pushed you a little closer to the edge. Oh no. um, so, actually, yeah, let's find out, like, what Hudjar was doing while you two were over in the Heartgrove Shrine, and then maybe Hudjar will meet up with somebody new that will tag along. Absolutely. Oh my
I kind of
gosh.
like the idea that maybe we kind of we get there's a combination of Masero sort of escaping, and then Hajjar turning up, and then Gwon appearing as well, or some kind of meeting of some kind.
That's
Mhm.
fine. Yeah, because Masero kind of had like a oh shit moment and backed out of it like post haste, for sure. So yeah, um, where do you think you would have been? Like, because before they went to the Heart Grove, they wandered over to the shrine. It's like you were in Seeker's Rest. What do you think that Hudjar was occupied with after, running into those cultists?
Yeah, like we need some kind of fictional reason why she delayed.
Hmm. Hmm.
And I think it's because I think she was like maybe searching for something. Um yeah, like tasting the air again, that there was like an elusive scent of something on the air. And she spent like time just sort of on the trail. And then it led her to that exact point when, when Masero appears, having decided it was a terrible idea to go into the shrine. And then maybe there's a moment of fate or destiny or something unfurls, and that's what she tasted on the air.
Yeah, maybe perhaps just before you decide to join Masero and Vendrick over at the shrine, perhaps you did a reading. This is fictional positioning, by the way. This doesn't have to be like anything having to do with your moves. Yeah, I mean, I'd be curious to know like what you draw like as you sit there on the path leading to the shrine. Perhaps you're taking a little bit of rest, you know, like all that tasting and all that sensing is like, you know, can be wearing for sure. So I'd be curious to know what you are doing, whether you're reading cards or just, you know, utilizing your senses as Masero comes running up to you.
The frog giant, it's not.
Oh, you're on mute still.
So I pressed the wrong button. I'm
Okay.
just doing a little bit of an OSR randomization in Trophy Loom to see
Okay.
what comes up.
Okay.
Okay, so there are these places in the world of the Khaur that are parts of the civilization of the old of Khaur, and some of the cards of the tarot, like that Hudjar carries, are like basically symbols that map onto sort of ruins across the world.
Hmm.
And it seems that the Leviathan, like the floating Leviathan, is one of those great sort of symbols. And basically, you know, so and the sisters are kind of mapped on to some of the buildings. There's these kind of like places of power, and I think she pulls a card while reading, you know, through her tarot deck, that basically it's the Exodius of the Leviathan, one of the sisters. And as she sort of draws Saint Exodius of the Leviathan, um, she realizes that she must make an offering to Saint Exodius, for them to proceed higher, and and she realizes that she needs a treasure recovered from the sea or from the water or from the swamp, and she realizes that she has such a treasure. She has a piece of tapestry that she's you know, found along the way, um, and she basically burns the tapestry and throws it into the swamp waters while holding the card of Exodius to the sky. And just as that happens, there's a confluence, and Masero is there, and she looks up and shows him the card and says, "The bridge awaits."
Oh.
What do you tell Hudjar about where Vendrick is?
Yeah, I basically lay it all out. It's like, yeah, don't. There's yeah, everything is hungry. Don't pretend to be a thing that gets eaten. You got eaten. Stay away from the water. I guess I don't. Oh. Mm.
So Hudjar smiles at this and looks at the card of Exodius, and realizes that basically sometimes an offering must be made for something to be returned from the deep. That Exodius must be placated, and that Exodius is a vain and demanding sister, a sort of human face on an ancient thing, and smiles and says, "The price is paid."
Oh, poor Vendrick. Oh, goodness. Maybe at this point, as Masero's catching his breath, and Hudjar is being all cryptic and mysterious, but probably very, very clear for herself, of course. Maybe a figure will happen by, or, you know, come upon their conversation. Michael, please introduce us to Gwon.
So, when Gwon enters your presence, I think they are hard to miss because they are not human, they are manikin, and they're not hiding it. So you can see their featureless heads, they don't have eyes, they don't have a mouth, but somehow they still manage to speak. They are clothed in rags and carry a sharpened pitchfork. So not very subtle. But apparently they don't care. And maybe you can see some bugs crawling on them and other vermin being drawn to them because they're a nest, and they approach you and they look at the two of you and they say, "You used to be party of 3. Gwon saw that. But now you're a party of 2, and Gwon does not know why."
Then Hudjar smiles and says to Masero, "An avatar approaches to guide our way." And then looks at Gwon and says, "2 is not a number of completion. Only 3 will bring us forth. You are here to complete the 3 once more."
Gwon accepts because I can't go into whatever awaits us alone.
Wonderful. Great. So we'll see more of Gwon and what they're about as we go along. And you head towards Leviathan's Bridge. Swaying in the wind, the upper branches of the heart tree give way to flowering vines, once carefully trained in woven patterns, now long overgrown. Suspended within the vine canopy floats the vast skeleton of the Leviathan itself, ribs like tree trunks stretching down into the mist. Sunlight beams through the spaces between vertebrae, revealing segments of a still hanging footbridge which vanishes into the dense foliage ahead. There are sky weavers here, arboreal octopi nestling between the ribs and vertebrae. They weave plant fibers and cultivate bromeliads to collect rainwater, which form their communal sleeping pods. So you see these beautiful sky weavers going in and out between these vast bones. And there's rain and wind washing out over the outside of the canopy as rainbows and mist appear within. This has a quiet, possibly vague beauty. And you are trying to go for the set goal, traverse the sky bridge to reach the temple. That is your set goal for the bridge. Traverse the sky bridge to reach the temple. So, as you make your way here, and then start to go on the bridge, what would you like to do? The rope bridge itself is suspended from the hulking vertebrae, above by heavy braided vines. Some intact segments are a few paces long, others a single step hanging over the void like a trapeze. So it's not quite complete, per se.
Masero is overly cautious after everything that happened in the war. And not sure how he feels about Gwon yet. after you.
The price must be paid before the bridge can be crossed. We have opened the threshold, but now we must show the sister that we are true followers of the Leviathan. And I think basically Hudjar's going to ask the other two if they'll help her to assemble an impromptu shrine to Saint Exodius. From basically they're like ossuaries of whale bones, driftwood, and random bits of marine artifacts that you gather together into a shrine and then like make an offering to the Leviathan before we cross.
Yeah,
I think that's just a narrative thing, right?
I guess
Or
I
do
could
you?
make it a hunt. I could probably tack a hunt roll onto it if I were more specific about what I'm looking for the favor of the Leviathan to cross the bridge. So I'd like to do a hunt roll. Like, so the shrine's just a conceit because there is a lot of that stuff around and I can wrap it up with the vine.
Mhm.
But what I'm looking for is a sign that we have permission to cross.
Okay.
So I guess I can, and I probably, I don't think, I mean, I don't really have any. I'm just thinking if I have a skill that I could use.
Again,
Yeah,
skill or useful
deities.
equipment. Yeah, there you go.
I think
Deities.
deities and interpretation would be a good one here because I'm basically, yeah, and I think it's like this sort of, yeah, like altar made out of stacked together driftwood and bits of jagged coral and whales and smaller pieces of the bones that weave in through the vines
Hmm.
holding the bridge together.
Pretty much. I
And
mean, like,
then
you have
and then
access to all of that. Yeah.
and then I will ask everyone to there's like a pointy bit of jagged bit of coral on the top and everyone has to like stab their hand on the coral to leave their blood mark.
What do you think of that? I mean, does Gwon
Uh
have blood, and what does Masero think of that?
but Masero is just freaked out all around. I think. I think he followed just because like he's in. I think Masero's in a point where um, if if he was in his right mind, like he can cover his burdens and then some, get out clean.
Mhm.
Uh, if he was in his right mind, he would do that. But I think his kind of like his turn last time. Like if if everyone isn't gonna be getting theirs, he's in it for the long run. I think like grudgingly, he's like, yeah, sure. If you think this is the way, you think this is the way. You probably know better than I do. So
Is he experiencing a bit of despair, or I don't mean to say this, but I mean like trauma because of
yeah,
seeing his companion getting
yeah,
eaten?
it is more shock than anything else.
Yeah, say, one of your conditions is shock to the system.
Mhm.
Yeah, so, because that is a lot, seeing your companion go,
Yeah,
yeah, for sure. And
I think there's a hint of slyness when Hudjar says the trophy GM phrase of "There is greater treasure far over the bridge, Masero. You must test your luck to find what lies within."
terrible. And what does Gwon think of the whole like let's stab my hand onto this onto this shrine thing?
I mean, they don't have facial expressions, but they look at Hudjar and they look at Masero, and then they grab into their ribcage, and there's straw and a squeaking rat, and they pluck off the rat, put some blood on their hand, and use that instead.
Oh my god, amazing. Wow. Okay. All right. So go ahead and make your hunt roll. Two dice, please.
I think once the shrine has been adorned, Hudjar says, "Now we wait for a sign of the Leviathan." All right, let's do this. I got it.
Well, it looks like it's continuing onward from last time. It's all good. It's all good.
Yay.
Yay! A 2. Okay. All right. So I think. I think as you are doing this. And the. Let's see. Maybe. Who's the last to do this to do the blood the blood ritual? Is it Gwon or is it Hudjar?
It would make sense if it was Hudjar, I think.
Okay. I think as you stab down, I think it is where you go a little bit too hard. And you discover that the plank of the bridge that you have done so, I think, gives way. And because there's some of these planks that are rotten, of course, and they've been kind of eaten through by some barnacle beetles. And I think you'll see some of these, like, kind of like on the edges when the plank gives way. And you stab down really hard, Hudjar. The plank gives way, and then you will fall. Or you will basically, like, dive down after the shrine. So, risk roll. Do you hang on to the bridge or do you fall?
Yeah.
Oh shit.
No, I'm gonna get out my parasol and open it, and I'm gonna make my shadow like push the parasol, and I'm going to Mary Poppins myself back up again on my parasol.
Hot damn. Okay. So, let's build that risk roll. What do we think will go wrong if you fail? Gee, I think you're going to fall beyond the bridge and all the way down. Yeah. So that's one thing that could go wrong.
I mean, she's got an admirer, and they might show up and catch her, and that's even worse than falling.
Uh-oh. I love it.
How your shadow is helping you? Did you say?
Yeah, my shadow is basically like pulling up my parasol, so it's kind of a practical effect essentially. But the shadow is like grabbing on for me.
It's like, and then keeping her or pulling her up back onto the bridge. Yeah, I like it.
Yeah,
going wrong, it could, instead of pulling you back up onto the bridge, it could just pull you into the shadows.
Into the shadows. Ooh. Oh boy. Okay. All right. So, light die if this is something you are skilled at because of your occupation or your background, or you have useful equipment.
I have an awesome parasol.
Okay. All right. Dark die because you're doing a ritual of release. And all right. Fun stuff. The second light die for accepting a devil's bargain. What do we think? No matter what.
No matter what, your shadow will continue to pull you up. And basically you have to steady yourself in a way to not float away.
Oh, shit. Floating. Hmm.
I'm so attached to my shadow. That's kind of awesome. Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Uh,
How would that go off if the roll was a failure? Either way, more of the beetles that have been eating away the bridge are swarming like we disturbed their environment. They start swarming this way.
Maybe they like shadow. They like. I quite like the idea of a beetle swarm, but what do you have an idea, Matt, as well?
yeah, let me, so I think what will happen no matter what is that calling upon your shadow here, especially when you're asking for a sign and permission to continue across the bridge, I think the shadow will remain, but will constantly remind you of all that you owe, all the things that you're trying to pay back because each of your siblings' sins, curses, all that, you're constantly reminded. Or reminded in very inopportune moments. It's like, remember this one? She cursed, or they cursed out this particular person for this. And that is exactly what you're doing. You're paying it back.
I think for narrative purposes, to make sure the drive sort of stays in play, I think I'll pick that one just because it plays out more long term. So that I'll take that one.
Okay. So, that condition will be whispers of reparation. Once we
Oh,
see what the role is.
that's nice.
Yeah.
All right, let's try it. Oh, that's not too bad. I got a 4 dark, and I'll just keep that because actually I have to keep it because unless someone
Yeah.
wants to try and help me. Um,
What do we think? Does anybody want to try and help?
I think Masero like instinctively helps. I
Okay.
mean, yeah,
Okay.
like when you go down, I am grabbing for you.
Oh, okay, wonderful. All right. Say how you expose yourself to being in danger. I think that's pretty obvious. Um, and then you would roll a light die, like one help die. Yeah.
Another 3.
Okay. Okay. All right.
not any better, but also no ruins. So
Yeah. Exactly. So thank God. Okay. Thanks for helping. That's what the reference sheet says. I love it. Oh, so good. So anyway, yes. Tell me how this looks as you activate the shadow, but yet, maybe like the shadow's already starting to do the whispers.
I mean, I think basically the shadow kind of as Hudjar falls, she holds up parasol, and the shadow sort of flows up her arm, up the handle of the parasol, and then the struts of the parasol kind of shift and turn almost into tentacles, like a circle of sort of shadowy pseudopods, and they all just like shoot out upwards and grab onto the bridge. And she just holds on. Basically, it looks a bit like a shadow octopus on a stick at this point. And she just holds on as it gradually climbs back up and kind of deposits her gently back down onto the bridge. And then it just kind of reverts to being a parasol, and her shadow returns to the ground, like flows out of her feet back onto the ground where it should be. And she just closes the parasol and puts it in her bag and turns and says, "Apparently, we must prove our worth to the Leviathan."
And you continue onward. Although, Masero, you did make the gesture of trying to help.
Mm.
How do you feel about, Hudjar catching herself up this way? And
I feel like overwhelmed by the supernatural, I guess. Oh, I just tried to help, but you got shadow magic. I don't know how useful I'm going to be going forward here, but I've also got some cool things going on. So just for that moment, like, oh,
yeah, I mean, maybe you're just feeling a little bit out of it, but yet also you're doing your best.
Mhm.
I think Masero had a little bit of growth from last time, so
Yeah.
yeah. All right, yeah. Okay, so you continue onward, going through, and I think you're watching the curious skyweavers. They're emerging from the vines, the bromeliads, or they pause in their dismantling and reweaving of the vines around the bridge. So you kind of see them, some of them come up close, and their glistening skin just blooms in expressive patterns as they make their way in and out and gather the rainwater and also reweave some of these vines. Does anybody else want to, do a hunt roll as they make their way very carefully, evidently, across this bridge?
I think one of them passive aggressively rewaves the hole behind us after we've walked
Yes!
past.
Yes! I love it. I love that.
That's cool. I mean, since there was a lot of mentioning of the barnacle beetles, I think Gwon stops to study them. See how they behave. If there's if we can, if they're kind of damaging the bridge, right?
I mean, yeah, some of them have been there for quite some time, and they do look like barnacles, for sure. And they are very happy in this damp. And in fact, I mean, they're things that have been worn away through the mists and the damp. They gravitate towards, I think, because they're kind of like scavengers. It's kind of like, rotting material, and so that's where they're going to make their home, kind of thing. But if you want a little bit more, I mean, please make a hunt roll.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
I think they're quite interested in whether it's a good sign or a bad sign if you step on an area, or if you move towards an area where a lot of those beetles are.
Oh, okay, cool. Good or bad?
And I think vermin as a skill might apply.
Absolutely. Okay. And then you're asking the question about is it, their behavior is indicative of progress. So go ahead and make the 2-die hunt roll, please.
That's a 4.
Okay, you get a token, but encountering something terrible. Fabulous. I think as you're watching these barnacles, the barnacle beetles, again, looking very much like the barnacles, but they make their way, especially to some of the more, parts of the bridge. I think Gwon will step into something as they're observing maybe a close cluster of barnacle beetles. You don't realize it, but then you step into a snare, and you have the risk of being, as you're in this snare, like being dragged up and away from your companions to be suspended above the bridge.
It's
so.
sword time.
Yeah,
This is
exactly.
what Masero got that sword for. Help
Yeah.
us out. Yeah, if you're being dragged away by that snare, without thinking, out comes the cutlass and you might get through the snare.
Yeah, so I mean, you can totally get help from Masero in this case for sure, because that happens like pretty much immediately. As you step your foot, or you whatever, it could even be like multiple snares. So like one gets your leg and the other one gets like your arm, and you're like get swept up and away from the bridge. So yeah, risk roll.
Okay, I fictionally I do like it because then we can work together and yep.
Yeah.
But first you tell me what could go wrong, right? Or should I tell you what I'm trying to do?
Well, definitely for going wrong. I mean, like, you do get swept up and away, and like, there could be scavengers that like will wait until you're, fully suspended, and like, take their fill once you're away from protection and such. So, definitely. Anything else that could go wrong?
I'm helping with the attacking. Then, yeah.
All right, so let's build some roll. Let's build the roll here. Sorry. You're getting ensnared. Excuse me. So something to get out of it. I mean, Masero can definitely help. But you can do that before or after the roll. It doesn't really matter. You just have to say how you're vulnerable. But then with Gwon's roll, a skill or a piece of equipment that you can use for that first light die. And then dark die, of course, is danger to risk to body, for sure. Okay.
Yeah. Let's see. I think coordination might fit because I shout to Masero, pull on the right one while I'll pull on the left one. So maybe if it's someone trying to catch us, we might be able to drag them down, or if it's a trap, we might be able to deactivate it, something like that. But we have to work together.
Oh, wow. Nice. Okay. All right. So we got that for the light die. Dark die, of course, for the risk. And then the second light die is for Devil's Bargains. What will happen no matter what?
I think no matter what, barnacle beetles they join your colony, but they don't go inside. They attach themselves to your external surfaces, and they eat all your clothes and like eat your armor, but they are now your armor. So you basically become like something rich and strange. Like you're all covered in barnacles and your clothes are all gone, or anything you were wearing, any piece of armor is gone, and they're now that instead.
I'll do better than that.
Oh my god, that's amazing.
Yeah, I have to take that.
Oh god, I've got nothing.
Oh, sorry, yeah.
Okay.
It was premature, but yeah.
No. I mean, like it sounds great. So
Yeah.
I mean,
So more specifically, they eat all of your layers of fabric, but now they're your armor.
So basically, we're replacing
that.
Okay, yeah. All right.
Cool.
Oh, that's awesome. Oh my gosh. Okay.
Yeah.
So 2 light, 1 dark on the risk roll, please. And then Masero, of course, like you would help once we see how this goes.
Well, that's a 3 light.
Not so great. So you can add a dark die and re-roll, and Masero can help. Can say how they help.
So would you like me to help before you re-roll? Because if you have 2 dark dice, then it's 2 less that I can.
What do you think? You want to wait to do a re-roll and then see how it goes before Masero gives you some help?
It makes sense tactically to try and get the help before you have to risk your big, an additional dark die.
Let me go ahead and roll that help then. Another 3. Sarah's just not out of the game today.
Jeez.
Miss.
Okay.
So-
Well, luckily it doesn't match any dark die, so you're still good.
How does it work now? Should I put in 3 light and 2 dark? Or will Masero reroll again?
Oh yeah.
How does this work, Kari? Use your light die in the roll. Okay, so no, I mean Masero's die stands, so like basically you would add that, to whatever roll, and then you would still roll 2 light, but then you would do 2 dark since you're doing a reroll.
You're not re-rolling that.
Okay.
Yeah.
And Masero won't reroll his either. Okay.
No. I mean, unless he wants to help again, but I think this help roll stands as it is because it kind of shows how Masero is helping.
Okay. So let's see how this goes. 5 dark.
Okay. All right. Okay.
So my rune goes up.
Yes. So all right. So you succeed in doing what you plan on doing, and then coordinating with Masero. So you two can describe how that goes. But I also want to hear, Gwon, how this gets you in a bit closer to being lost to the environment. So. What do you think?
So we definitely succeed working together. And do we have anything in mind? What's up with the snares, or can we just establish something?
Yeah, the establishment is that, as you were looking at this cluster of barnacle beetles, you stepped on something on the plank that drew like a snare up, so you see maybe kind of dried up vines that have been used to create this snare trap, and so it has your leg and it has that same side arm, and is now pulling you away from the bridge. So
yeah, and basically, and you can say no, that doesn't work or whatever if that's too much, but I think very forcefully both of us pull on the vines, and we kind of because I picture there's someone trying to snatch people. Don't recall. There's something in Trophy Loom about a creature with spindly legs and long arms and whatever. So that's kind of some inspiration for me. So maybe it's just a goblinoid creature, person, whatever, who falls down onto the bridge now that we pull very harshly, because they expected this to be like an easy fishing trip to get some nice juicy meal, and now they're pulled downwards onto the bridge. They crash down, And while we're doing this, we see Gwon laying on the ground for a bit too long, and the barnacle beetles crawl onto them, and maybe some are also on their face, so they I think I'm going one step further because it's rune. Maybe they kind of merge with them, so they can hear what the beetles want because they're now like symbiotic in
Oh,
a
that's
way.
beautiful.
They're not
Oh,
just
man.
attached. They also have something to say.
I love it. Oh my gosh. Ah, um, yeah, I think, and then like Masero, I'm imagining that like you're while the Beatles are going on to Gwon and then like like becoming one with Gwon. I think maybe this is where you're accosting the creature or the cultist maybe that has tried to set up this damn snare trap. So you do see this figure, and you don't know this yet, but I mean, like, this is like one of the figures that had accosted Hudjar back at the rest, and they've got like the hood and the big scarf like around their features, and like they're like kind of like shaking their head, and then you can totally go up to them and like like take him into custody or do whatever you need to do, and 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 yeah. Um, yeah, tell me what you will be doing for this person that has shockingly like crashed landed onto the bridge.
I think it's like since I was trying to slash at the ropes,
Mhm.
uh, I think I've still got the cutlass out, and it's like not attacking, but just like brandishing and she's like why? We're just trying to make our way through here. Why do you have to do this? We're not bothering you. We're minding our own business, and we appreciate it if you would mind yours.
And then the eyes behind the scarf, like they kind of look up to you as they're sprawled onto the bridge, and they just kind of like get up, and it's kind of an uncomfortably looking movement. It's not like getting up like a regular human or goblinoid would get up. It's kind of like almost slithery.
Second.
Yep. And so let me just, yeah, let's do a little pause here. Um, yeah, after I describe this one bit, we'll take a break. So
I
Wonder if
think
they know that. Sorry, go on.
I was just going to say that one also gets up and walks towards that person, and they they yell at them and say, "Why do you try to catch Gwon? Can't you see you can't eat them?"
I mean, I'm imagining you're full on like barnacled up at this point. Okay. That's got to be scary as hell. Okay, great. And after I describe what the person says, I want to know what the Beatles had whispered to you, Gwon. So, I think okay. So Masero, like you've taken this person and just kind of, yelled at you're yelling at them, and they just get up in that weird slithery way, dressed in the robes and the scarf, and they just look at you with these unnatural eyes and say, "You are our business. She," and they point over to Hudjar. "She knows. We serve. We serve to have more sacrifices to the Leviathan."
I think Hudjar smiles and turns to Gwon and Masero and says, "This was the sacrifice that we needed." And then looks at the creature and says, "Your friends paved the way for me to come here. Now it is your turn to open the gate across the bridge. And I
And
think
the
she's
eyes
just
just
gonna,
go wide.
and I think
quickly
if everyone
waits.
else is okay with it, I might sacrifice them.
Yep.
I'm just trying to think what's my best ritual. I think I'm gonna just get my trepanning needle and just go like this on their forehead and just through the mask and just hit it, and it just goes like right into their brain pan, and then I'll just quickly, elegantly whip it out, just
Okay.
shake it off and put it away.
Beautiful. Beautiful. It works, actually. Um, I think... Yeah, I think I love that little piece of fictional positioning and a callback. So, I think when you do that and this figure falls back, of course, from the blow, I think you'll see the robes fall back, and there's something about it, like as it falls down and then lands on back onto the bridge, like you see the rags or the robes that they're wearing kind of deflate, as if whatever was in them has just kind of dissipated, because underneath, if like the camera's like got the long shot going, the camera can see underneath as the robes deflate, there's some kind of essence, like shadowy darkness, like kind of also flaky like ash, like just kind of falling through the planks and then like kind of dissipating into the mist. Yeah. But there's something in the robes. Who takes a look?
Hudjar will say, "Key, wait, but it's not pick up the key."
You do or you don't?
No, I think I'm just gonna see if anyone else will do it.
I think Masero will like pick up the robes with his cutlass and shake it up to see if there's anything there.
Yeah, I think like as you do that, like like you kind of shake the robes out and like out slides this book. It's a small book. It's something that looks like it's like folded over papers but bound in a faded red leather, and there's a title on it, inscribed and etched, filled in with like silver. Says, "A History of False Gods." And you can take that, whomever wants to take that can put it into their stash, into their equipment, found equipment.
And then I declaimed touching it. I think so. That deserves the reward.
Flip through it and see if there's anything immediately that jumps out as interesting or notable.
I mean, it's written all in different languages and such. So I mean, like maybe you see something in common that you recognize, but then in other languages, it's like that. It's like it's script. It's it's pictographs. It's like hieroglyphics. It's something. It's like it's all in different things, for sure. So, yeah. And so, yeah, you can move along after having found this. Let's go ahead and as we're reaching this point, let's take our first break. So that will be 10 minutes. Okay. So we're back at the 21 mark. Okay. See you then. Resume. Okay. We are back and we are commencing to go further onto said bridge. Okay. I think midway, like as you make your way further along after taking out this cultist, I think midway you'll see there's this giant clamshell wedged between the pillar-like ribs about halfway down your traverse of the bridge. And it looks like an old resting platform, but just this gigantic clamshell that has been suspended. So, if you'd like, you could conceivably check this out as one of the many features along your way.
Is it like open like a chair kind of that you sit in, or is it shelf closed?
I think it's like fully open. So, yeah, it's like a full-on platform like with two ends. So, yeah, you can totally look around. I mean, like maybe there's some of the sky weavers that are near here, like cultivating the rainwater from the bromeliads that are helping keep it suspended. So you will see like maybe like some dampness here, like some drops of water or some like little pools that they're gathering from. But for the most part, yeah, I mean it's a very open, gigantic clamshell that's suspended here that people can.
I think Masero is wary.
Oh,
Now, for some reason, it doesn't look like it has or could close.
no. Mm-mm.
Yeah, I think poking around in there and like seeing, I mean, fresh water would be nice. Wash the taste of that out of my mouth. Yeah, I think just poking around the shell and seeing if there's anything in like the pools or in there.
Yeah. A lot of the vines are hanging here, like creating like a canopy. So, I mean, like there's opportunity to find things for sure. Equipment or skills to search around. What do you think?
Skills, I don't know if it has.
And don't forget equipment. Equipment can also be used here.
I'm looking through the list to see if there's anything. I could just do a one die.
Okay. All right. So you're just like searching around, but like nothing specific that you're calling upon. Okay. One die hunt roll.
Here we go.
There we
That's
go.
one. Boom. Fortunately, I have no tokens to lose. So.
I know, but oh my god, something terrible. Holy crap. Wow. Wow. Wow, wow, wow. Incredible. Okay. So, I think as you're hunting around the clamshell, I don't know if the other two have followed you, but I mean, like, you're bounding on ahead because, hey, it looks like a place to rest. Why the hell not, right?
Very interested in resting.
Yeah. I mean, like, in like some of these big vines, the bromeliads are like draping, and then like the sky weavers are going in and out, but then you hear like something that initially sounds like the piping of the piper. It sounds like almost rhythmic, like somewhat musical. But as you get closer, I think when you part some of the vines, it's like the squawking of what looks like small, gaunt-looking, leathery raptors. No feathers, just like leathery skin, like bare. And they're like chicks the size of cats, like house cats. And they're like kind of nestled in this bits and pieces nest within the vines. And they're kind of squawking and like piping, like the piper kind of thing. And they see you. And then, as one, they all scream. And then you hear an answering scream coming from somewhere above you.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, let's just say there's a group. I think Gwon and Hudjar, if you're coming from behind, like, making your way into the clamshell, I think you'll see what looks like this cloud of avian things approaching, and you hear the scream, like a shrill scream coming from over by where Masero is, and then an answering, louder, deeper scream coming from the cloud approaching. You will have to deal with some sawtooth vultures soon. So, given that, yay. Yeah, as they approach, like, you can see their form. They're gaunt, leathery raptors. They have cruel, jagged beaks, like not smooth at all, like just like kind of like saw teeth, literally. And they have claws that are obscene and elongated, almost like fingers that have been topped with these razor sharp points. They kind of flap, but they take some high perches nearby among the vines, and they're all staring at you as the vines have parted and these little chicks are squalling to be fed.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So, how would you like to deal with this?
Now I'm gonna add something to my backpack equipment.
Sure.
Add some animal food.
Okay.
And like as slowly and not cautiously, I'm not drawing a weapon. I'm not threatening or anything. Just like grab some handfuls, like toss some into the little clutch of chicks, and then kind of like scatter it on the ground, slowly backing away.
Okay. Okay.
So please, it's tastier than I am. Like, guys, I don't leave the babies alone. Let's make our way around here very carefully.
Mhm.
We are being attended.
Yep. So, I mean, yeah, you have like, I'm gonna say you have like a group of 4 staring at you. Like, these are much, much bigger than the chicks, of course. Yeah. And they're kind of like all in places within the vines and the canopy that are like above you all. And they look like they could be about ready to dive bomb, but they're looking at you with their weird bulbous eyes, like waiting to see what you do.
Gathering chunks of food as I slowly back away and try and keep an eye on as many of them as possible.
Right. So we can totally do a risk roll here and then see if this succeeds, of course. And then, like, if it succeeds very well and, like, something happens where you do decide that you want to do combat, then you will be reducing some endurance. But at this point, like, we'll just see how this goes. Oh, God. Yeah. So you're doing this. What could go wrong? The big ones will totally ignore this and then, like, still want to dive bomb you anyway. For sure. And then you'll get into combat. Because there's really no place to run. It's either, like, stay here on the clamshell, or you're going to have to jump onto the bridge, and that could be a risk roll in itself. For sure.
I think part of what you draw is backing away, but keep an eye on that. That sounds treacherous.
Yeah, you look a little tasty, I'm sure,
Avoiding getting backing off.
Yeah. And again, that could incur another risk roll for sure. So that's what could go wrong. I mean, like, they're gonna want to swarm you anyway. Anybody else have anything that could go wrong in this case?
I think, I don't know if this is something that could go wrong or a devil's bargain, but they pick you up by your cuirass, and like the only way you can escape is by like pulling the buckles off your cuirass and dropping out of it.
Shit. Oh, God. Yeah, that could go wrong for sure. I mean, oh my God. I was actually going to ask you too. I mean, like, if you had something shiny on you, they're definitely going to hone in on you.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
anything shiny is going to gather their attention.
Everything shiny.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So we know that definitely shit could go wrong. Okay. Skill or equipment? I
Animal
mean, but
feed. Yeah.
animal feed. Yeah. Okay, that's fine. And then of course risk to body. Risk
Mhm.
to body. All right. The fun stuff. No matter what, get that second light die. What's our devil's bargains here? No matter what.
No matter what, you will imprint on one of the chicks.
Beautiful.
I have it. No matter what, these aren't the adults. These are just bigger chicks, and the
Oh
mother
my god.
is like the size of a minivan or something.
Oh,
Oh
that's
boy.
beautiful. Oh, sure. I mean, you don't have to take that. Obviously, you don't have to take a devil's bargain at all. Oh, damn. Yeah, I think you're so close, and I hate to do this to you, but again, for the fiction, I think you're so damn close to the environment, to the mysticism of Leviathan's bridge that you're going to hear, again, just as you heard from the chicks, the smaller chicks, you're going to hear the piper, and you're going to hear them call out to you. You're just going to not only hear the song, but then you're also going to hear the voices. And yeah, those are going to follow you no matter where you go, what you do. You're going to hear the vulture call, and you're automatically going to think of a Piper memory, you know? So,
Um,
so let's just review the choices. So it's either like Piper memories, like, forevermore. It's the imprinting of one of the chicks, which is definitely going to make you a target. And then, I'm sorry, James, what was the your devil's bargain?
oh, they're not.
A bigger,
They're-
much bigger.
They're just the older chicks, and there's
Yeah.
another one that's bigger still,
Mm.
and that's
Oh.
why they needed a clamshell for their nest.
Oh my god, brilliant.
Wow.
Yeah, great choices. So,
And just
Or
for you,
not.
James, so basically that was the setup for Vendrick's death. Something similar last time.
yes.
Dramatic irony.
Yes. Holy shit. No,
Um,
not
wow.
Masero.
As much as I want the Piper one, I think I'm gonna take one of the chicks imprinting on me. I think that's the most.
Oh yeah, that'd be great. Okay. So, chicks imprinting. Oh no. Okay, so 2 light, 1 dark so far. Oh, and if anybody wants to help, it's like, we can have you roll as well after. Yeah. To see what
Okay.
happens. 2 light, 1 dark, please.
That's a 5 dark.
Okay. Well, it's not higher than your ruin, so your ruin doesn't go up. Thank God. Okay. But yeah, so
Help
5.
if they want to throw it up there.
I'm sorry.
Someone could still help if they want to throw it up there.
Yeah. Does anybody want to help? Because you all see the bigger vultures, like, staring down at you all, but targeting Masero at this point. Do either one of you want to help?
I think
Um,
Hudjar's content to let that happen for now.
So funny.
So can you refresh me on the rules, please?
Oh yes, absolutely. For a help roll, excuse me, you can accept the offer to. All right. So if Masero accepts your offer to help, you would say how you expose yourself to danger, and then you would roll the one light die to help, and then the player can use your light die to help aid their roll. But you put yourself at vulnerable, and if your light die matches any of the dark die in their roll, you mark another ruin.
Okay, so let's say
And you don't
be
have to
5.
at this point. Yeah.
So, and do you tell us the consequences first so we can decide? Because basically I would have to roll a 6 to make this useful for you, because a 5 doesn't do anything, because 5 darker is still higher.
Yeah. Still succeeds. It just adds like a dark layer to it of like there's a complication to this. Possibly besides the whole imprinting part, but I mean, like, you know, that'll be up to me.
Basically, you're risking the 1 in 6 chance of either getting ruined or.
Yes, exactly. So you're risking that chance of getting some more ruin, and then when you're exposing yourself to danger, like you will definitely incur a condition, which I'll tell you about, like relative to the fiction. So, you know.
I think Gwon is just frozen.
Okay.
They don't do anything.
Okay. Maybe I'd be curious to know what your barnacles are telling you, what the beetles are telling you about this situation.
I say, don't interfere with nature.
Oh shit. Amazing. Okay. All right. So, Masero, please tell me how this helps you out. You succeed in getting their attention away from you, but how you still have one of these chicks be like, "No, you're my mommy."
Yeah, I think it'd be like if they're distracted by the food, like a lot of them are picking at it. I feel like it's like chunks of like jerky or something.
Jerky, yeah.
I'll put that in there. And I think while most of them are satisfied with picking away on the ground, one of them like gobbles some up and then like hops over to me and is like, more. I'm like, okay, cool, yeah, more. And I back up, and then they're like, cool, now more. And they like following me and pestering me, kind of like,
Right.
yeah, more, give me more.
I think maybe they even get close enough to like start to rub against your leg.
Full beak, like, come on.
Yep. I mean, all of the vultures looking down upon you are like the necks are craning down at you. Like they're all looking at you with their bulbous eyes. So yeah.
So like back away, it's like shaking my leg. No, stay with your brothers and sisters. Not, oh no, oh go, okay.
Yeah, I don't think you're going to be able to avoid it.
No, not at all.
It's just too good. It's especially because of like what you did, like your roll of a 1. So yeah, I mean, like you have to engage in the sawtooth. Now, going into combat, I will say because of this, because of the 1 imprinting upon you, or you've imprinted upon them, they're gonna hesitate just a little bit of wanting to completely tear you apart because of this chick in the way, but they're still gonna want to tear you apart. So, combat, and people can decide, you know, if you're going to try to reduce the endurance even further, or if you want to get full in on the combat now. You know, if you decide to help reduce, then you would sit out the first combat round and then be brought in for the second, if there's a second. I mean, who knows? I mean, Masero could be fan-fiddly-tastic, in which case he wipes them all out by some miracle. It's awesome. It's possible. It's awesome. So yeah. What would Hudjar and Gwon like to do as they see these vultures, like, you know, crane their necks towards Masero and look like they're about to dive bomb?
I think Hudjar won't try and reduce, but will take part in the combat if they aren't defeated on the first round.
Okay. All right. And then Gwon.
I think they snap out of it and actually join the combat.
Okay. But you're joining the combat on this round, on this first round, yeah?
Yes.
Okay. Okay. So the way this works. Attempt to defeat a monster, you join your efforts with your fellow treasure hunters. Decide who participates, so there's 2 of you. First, each of you say how you expose yourself to injury or attack. What do you think?
I think I'm just exposed. Like
Yeah.
I'm not initially fighting. I'm trying to avoid them. So when they attack, I'm not ready to defend.
Sure. Absolutely. And then Gwon,
Hmm.
how do you think that you're going to be exposing yourself to injury or attack?
I think positioning wise, I'm not as close by, so I have to navigate there to the nest, and maybe that might leave me vulnerable because I have to concentrate not to fall down.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. All right. So now each of you would roll your weak point.
Okay. Got a 5, and Masero got a 1.
Okay. So, Masero, okay. Now that the weak point is rolled, take a dark die for each character involved in the attack who has a weapon they can use in combat. So you have the pitchfork, and Masero, you have your sword. And then Masero, you would be rolling, since they're honing in on you first, okay? So you would roll 2 dark die on your combat roll, please.
Ooh, that's a 5 and a 6.
Okay. Yes, you both take them out. Amazing. See, it's amazing. However, because Gwon's weak point is a 5, which matches the 5 in the roll, you add some ruin to your roll. Okay, so please tell me how, or you can mark a piece of armor to avoid the ruin. You can either take the ruin or mark off armor to avoid it. What do you want to do?
I think I'll mark armor, and what happens is that they tear off my arm.
Okay.
But fortunately, I've got another one.
Yeah.
A spare limb.
Yeah, exactly. Awesome. Okay, yeah. So you'd mark off the spare limb so that like you don't garner the ruin, and you succeed. You defeat the monster. So please, each in your own way, tell me how you're taking out the swarm of these vultures.
I feel like they seem like they are more like opportunistic scavengers. So when the first one dive bombs, just ready with the sword, and just like the head just comes clean off with that 11, and the rest of them are just like, oh, we got a badass here. This is not the easy pickings we thought. We're just gonna like pick these guys off. I think they're just not interested anymore after that first one.
And Gwon, I think with with your role, I mean, like you definitely help, and at least take out one of them. With to help Masero out, But of course, like you're in a pitched battle with them because they took out your arm, but yet you also like utilize your pitchfork and such. So how does that look?
So the one that takes off my arm is probably really perplexed because it's not It's not flesh. It's not eatable. And while that creature is rather confused for a second, I can use the pitchfork to impale them.
Nice. And it is as Masero says. Once they see two of their companions taken out, the other two are like getting that fearful look, like they hunch and shrink within their wings. I mean, all they had was like the dive bombing. They couldn't really fly and like kind of like do any kind of like heavy duty maneuvers to get away. So now they are kind of turning tail and like, you know, making their way, like flapping very awkwardly away and leaving the little chicks to their own devices. They don't give a shit anymore because, you know, two of them are dead in the clamshell. So please roll 7 gold, please.
Do you want to roll?
Okay. You found 1 gold. All right.
Well, you can go ahead.
Yep. So add 1 gold to your 1 gold to your total, for sure.
How big are the ones that dive bombed us?
I'm gonna say they're probably like, you know, just their bodies are 2/3 of a humanoid shape or size, and like their wingspan is like a full-on like size of a human, but they're not really great flyers, right?
Yeah.
So they're not, you know, they just use them to swoop rather than actually like fly with any maneuverability, especially here, especially within the vines. You know, they take advantage of the whole, hey, we're in a big group and we're gonna beat you up. Nope.
I think I
Soon
like
as-
kick, like I'm not able to move it very far, but just kind of like kick over the one that got the head chopped off towards Hudjar. Like, here's your sacrifice. I hope you're happy.
I think Hudjar smiles and pulls a card from the top of her deck, and it's the card of the Nameless Saint, which is the saint of those things that follow death, the maggots and carrion beetles and vultures. And the card's a picture of like, you know, a dead sheep with a bunch of like vultures feeding, and a grey woman in the background with her form crawling like maggots over a corpse, and shows it to Masero and says, "The Nameless One has saved this bird, this child. It is our token." And puts it away and just like walks along as if nothing's happened, basically.
What do you think of Gwon with like, you know, the barnacle beetles on all over them? Hudjar.
One mustn't interfere with nature.
Is that interfering with nature though, or is it nature interfering with them? I wonder. Yeah.
The Nameless One, they are clearly an avatar of the sisters. First Exodius, now the Nameless Saint.
Amazing.
There are our good luck charm, sort of, and then now this avatar of the Nameless Saint, this baby bird vulture is coming along with us.
Yeah. Yeah. You get to add that to your found equipment, Masero.
Yeah.
Oh shit.
It's cool.
Kinda
Did you add
squally.
some gold, that 1 gold to your stack as well?
That's yours, Gwon.
Okay, thanks. I didn't catch that. I'll go ahead and add it.
Lovely. Okay. Oh yeah. Imprinted baby sawtooth vulture. Yeah, this leathery thing. It's like it's again like the size of a cat. It's like sure.
Right.
I think also too, it's like, you know, like seeing the shiny things on your person. It's like, you know, depending on where you put the baby, the chick, I think it's going to like try to nibble at some of the shiny things. So
I feel like it's just like hopping after me.
oh. Oh. Amazing. Oh gosh. All right. And that is, you know, you keep on going. All right. So you see, when you leave the platform, you'll see it's again the structure of the bridge is still very precarious. In between, like all of these ribs that are kind of creating the structure of the bridge itself, the planks that have been set up go from, hey, this is like an easy walk, to, oh crap, we need to get across, you know? So, again, you're just trying to make your way across the bridge, and yeah. And you have this constant shifting and swaying of the rope bridge segments and vine walls. So it's almost like the Leviathan, skeletal as it is, and dead as it has been for so long, is breathing. Anyone want to do any hunt rolls as you go further along the bridge?
I think Hudjar wants to follow the followers of the Nameless Saint, all of the beetles and the crawling things that infest infest the Gwon and infest the bridge, and that the followers of the Death Sister will show the way, basically. I'm gonna lean on deities and interpretation again, but I'm
Okay.
just picking up what's being put down by the gods.
I mean, Gwon is the walking omen. I mean, jeez.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
I'm just walking ahead, minding my own business, and you studying whatever I do.
Oh my gosh.
Exactly, yeah. And all of your little pals, you know. Oh,
Do you...
what? I got a 3. I got a double 3 this time.
What? Okay.
Having a bad time today.
Oh, yes. So, I'm going to say... Hold on, give me a second. I just want to, like, take a look at something. Okay. One of the signs as you're watching Gwon ahead of you, Hudjar, like, there's like weird patterns that seem to happen as maybe the barnacles aren't staying completely still. Maybe they're talking to Gwon, but you can't hear it. Maybe they're making shifting patterns, like they're still surrounding them, and just, you know, like the vermin that's already within Gwon is like kind of being, what's the word? Interweaving themselves among the barnacle beetles. So it's almost like you know, watching, as you say, nature in play. But I think as you're watching for signs on Gwon themselves, I think you will hear something. A clicking. Chirping. And first you think it's Gwon themselves because of all the bugs that are on them, but you realize it's a much bigger sound. And the camera will take shots, like kind of like cut shots back and forth between Hudjar looking at Gwon, and then like maybe a flash of a brutal hooked limb and an insectoid eye, but they're huge. And this chirping and clicking comes closer. And bigger. And I think the final ribs and vertebrae of the Leviathan skeleton hang suspended, woven together with living vines to form a series of pillars with passageways on either side. Spidery bromeliads and creeping succulents spout from the dried husks of other plants and creatures. Beyond rests the gleaming opal dome of the Leviathan's skull, cavernous opening overgrown with fragrant blooming lichen. In the open doorway waits the guardian, impossibly tall and graceful, an awakened assemblage terrible to behold. It sways gently with the breeze to mimic the stirring foliage around it. This is the thing, making the chirping and clicking noises. It is made of polished bone and hardwood, its brutal hooked limbs inlaid with the teeth and spines of ocean predators. Glowing runes are inscribed across its head and torso. As you have moved from Leviathan's Bridge into the Bone Garden, repeated failures have caused you to catch the attention of the Temple Guardian. And that is your set goal for the Bone Garden. Pass the Guardian to enter the temple.
No, Hudjar, we took care of those birds, so I think this one is yours.
It's only fair and karmic retribution.
Again, this is impossibly tall. It's big. It looks like a big, golem-like praying mantis, So, but it's made of bones and hardwood. So something made this to guard the temple.
I think I think Hudjar smiles as she draws the card of Ara, the torchbearer, the flame sister, and says, the conflagration begins. And she has like a lantern oil in her bag and pulls it out, strikes a spark, and just like basically I'm going to try and set it on fire, because if it's held together with it's probably not, that's probably its weak point. So I'm going to try and like make it, like attack it, the bits that hold it together.
Sure. Okay. I'm going to say that this is your opportunity to do some reduction of endurance. For sure, you will want to do this. And so it's a risk roll. Okay, so we're not on full combat yet. It's just it's like it's a sentinel waiting for you to try and pass. But
are we not at combat yet? Sorry.
No, we're not at combat yet. But I mean, like, it is there. You have to get past this guardian, otherwise you are not getting in the temple.
Oh no! If I don't have to fight it, I'm gonna OSR this. I'm not gonna get into. I'm not gonna voluntarily get into combat with this creature. No. Sorry. I thought I was trapped. I thought it had got the jump on me. I know what I'm gonna do.
Okay. You can still do a risk roll to reduce endurance for sure. Because I mean, like, your plan is sound. I'm just saying.
I'm gonna save that for later, but I'm not going to. So, I know what I'm gonna do. Yep. Okay, this is kind of a halfway point, because it's kind of me spoiling for a fight and also not. I have a demon totem that is occupied, and I have a ritual called Absorb, which is fill a handheld container with nearby darkness or shadow. I'm gonna break the totem, and then I'm going to try and get the demon to attack it while trying to then absorb its spirit back into the totem, like the guardian spirit into my totem.
Oh my god. Okay, so just to be clear, so you're having your demon come out of your totem to attack.
I'm going to let the demon loose as a distraction, and then I'm going to use my ritual to try and like suck whatever spirit is inside this guardian back into the totem.
Interesting. Okay. All right. Well, it's still a risk roll no matter what, whether you're trying to reduce endurance or just like, just do this, period. So, I mean, if it works, I mean, like, you will definitely reduce some endurance either way. Whether you like, call upon the full combat mode of this guardian will be up to the roll. Sorry. And
Let me think about it. I'm trying to do this so that I don't have to fight it. Like I'm trying to like suck out its soul.
sure.
But if you're gonna make me fight it, I'm gonna pick something different to do because like I'm trying to do a combat is a fail state answer to this because I can't fight this thing on my own.
Well, I mean, I will say, I mean, like right off the bat, any movement across the floor or walls around the Temple Guardian is going to prompt a risk roll to avoid detection. So, yeah.
Maybe what I'll do then. So I specifically want to do a thing that isn't just starting a fight with it. Now let's take the first half of what I said and let the demon out, and that's my distraction, and then I'm going to try and sneak past it.
Okay.
Let's just keep it simple. I want to distract it, and then I want to sneak past.
Okay, so distract, sneak past with, and this is your equipment, yeah?
Yeah. So basically, I'm gonna unoccupy my totem in order to, sneak
Okay.
past.
All right. Risk roll as we always do. What could go wrong? Yeah, the demon's not gonna. Okay, so what could go wrong is that the demon's not having any of it, not gonna concentrate on the Temple Guardian whatsoever, and gonna come like right to you and cause such a ruckus that you're just gonna get attention no matter what. Yeah, but that's if it goes wrong. So we're not there to the devil's bargain yet. Anything else that could go wrong with this?
Once the demon is out, the nearest soul is drawn to the thing, which is you, I guess.
You're just a tasty morsel. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think I'm going into another round just because that just came to mind. So your plan works flawlessly, but there's a lot of bones lying around, and you step into a large shard of bone and it pierces through your foot.
Oof. Yikes. I mean, why not, right? It's like you truck with like a Temple Guardian, like, there's the shit can go wrong. All right, so gathering dice. All right, light die if this is something skilled at, occupation background, or your useful equipment. So I'm imagining that you're breaking apart the totem to do this, so that's the useful equipment.
Yeah.
Okay. Dark die. Risk and body. Gosh. Or mine because of messing around with the demon.
Both.
So
Both. Yeah,
both.
Definitely both.
Definitely both. Okay. Second light die for funsies. No matter what do we think will happen to Hudjar to do this?
Can you restate your exact intention to make sure I'm not stepping on?
I basically want to get past the Guardian by distracting it, but with a demon that's going to cause a ruckus.
I mean, whether you distract the Guardian or not, the distraction, like the ruckus, attracts something else.
Somebody else, you say?
Or something else.
Yeah.
Somebody or something.
Yeah, I want to go into a similar direction because it hasn't come up yet, and I mean, no matter what, that person that has followed you is able to sneak in together with you, and they will reveal themselves.
I have to take that. That's so good.
Yeah,
love
I
that.
don't have anything to beat that. Oh my gosh.
No, I'm definitely taking that because I want to see this come to fruition, this whole admirer thing. Oh, okay, let's try this then.
Oh my
Oh,
gosh.
I so succeeded, but I got a 6.
Oh god! Higher than your ruin. Your ruin goes up by 1. Okay, so and now, unless you had a specific idea in mind, Michael, I would like to know from Hudjar who this person is, and that could be part of the reason why you're going into ruin.
My sibling.
Yes. Okay. So tell me how you succeed and
Oh,
you unleash the demon, all that
well,
kind of
I
stuff.
have it. I have it. My sibling, who is my identical twin.
It. So give me the picture. You unleash the demon, trying to distract the temple guardian, and maybe the temple guardian, I will say, with a lot of chirps and creaks and kind of cracking of the bones and wood, you will turn to the demon as it's making a fuss and creating all sorts of movement that is creating vibrations that it's following. But yet you see this person that has been kind of weaving in and out, shadows behind and now in front, taking advantage of the distraction that you created. What the hell? Tell me what you see this person going past the guardian, making it into the temple. And
I'm
they
gonna
reveal
make a
themselves.
good. I'm gonna make a good flip of this. So we would assume from the drive that sibling is the bad one and Hudjar is the good one. But in fact, you see like a woman who looks exactly like Hudjar around the face, violet eyes, same face, but not without the robes on, with long sort of braided hair. But she looks like she's wearing Naganese armor, but it's like bright silver armor. She's got a dark cloak that she pulls off, and she's wearing like a scimitar, and she looks like a quintessential Naganese good guy, basically. And she smiles and says, "This was coming to a head, sister," and darts off.
Didn't say you had a sister.
It's her twin sister, but it turns out that she's the good one.
I still say that in trophy, that's a big air quotes thing. Good one.
Masero is intrigued.
Ooh. Oh no.
And who of us notices? Is it like everyone witnesses that?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Because again, the temple guardian has moved towards the shadow that's creating all sorts of weirdness, over there, and then you both will see this person that whips off their their hood or whatever, and it looks like Hudjar. What the heck? What's going on? So I don't know if there's any other commentary.
Gwon looks at Masero and says, "Who's that?"
I don't know, but I would like to find out.
I think Hudjar looks and says, "He is not significant. We must move onwards."
And where did they go?
Oh, past the guardian. They're in the temple.
Yeah, they use the distraction to get in as well.
Yeah, I think Hudjar, herself has frozen in place, seeing her twin getting into the temple, and now the temple guardian has come back into place. Oops.
So Gwon and Masero still have to get through.
Oh no, Hudjar's not there yet. Hudjar has not made it past. It's Hudjar's twin.
I did get a 6 though. I did
Oh,
get
okay.
a 6.
Okay, so then you did
Yeah.
make it past, but you're still frozen, just behind the temple guardian. So, whoops.
I think I'll look through and say to the others, there is business between she and I that I must attend to. I shall see you when you find your way through. And then she disappears too.
Any commentary to that being left behind?
I mean, Gwon is going to mother. The beetles told Gwon they cannot trust her.
You think? Yeah.
Amazing. Amazing. So,
Hmm.
you two can do some hunt rolling or scrolling. I mean, to figure out how you want to try to get past,
Maybe hunt rounds.
Yeah.
And we can. I've
You
already
can-
got a hunt token, so
And remember, you can trade that hunt token in at any time to get something like a treasure or something that can be turned into gold later. So this way you don't lose the hunt token if you get that bad roll. Just so you know. And then the hunt roll can be used not only to find things, but also to get more information about the world, about what you're dealing with. So, that's 2 uses for the hunt roll, so you don't have to feel like, oh my god, how the hell do I get through this? You know what I'm saying? Like, you can get a little bit more information from me about what you're dealing with.
I mean, how many hunt tokens do we have collectively at this point? Is it just one?
But
Just one.
yeah. Well,
I
you
mean,
can-
it takes
you
3
only
to
turn gold
complete the
back
set
into
goal.
hunt. But you can't. Hmm. Does the Guardian give any indication of being like communicative? Like, is it just like a looming menace?
It is a looming menace, and I will say, you're gonna love this, Masero. Like, as you make more observation, now that you have a little bit more time to look at the Temple Guardian, you realize that there's some spider crabs crawling slowly across it.
Yeah.
Like, around its head, like maybe around its its torso. But the Guardian doesn't pay any attention to them. They're provoking no response from the Guardian themselves. So it's kind of like the spider crabs have found an extra home. Yay. Not traumatizing in the least, I'm sure.
Not at all.
No. Although you will both feel when the wind calms down, like when every so often when it stops whistling through the temple, it's utter stillness. It's like the silence becomes oppressive in that moment. It just sits on you. And then goes through again. Almost musical, almost refreshing, but there is that guardian in the way.
Have we heard any is there any legends or lore or songs or anything?
You hear there's the drone of insects, and there's occasional shifting.
I mean, before we came in, did we there's gonna be a guardian? Here's a legend about it.
Heard any kind of rumors and such?
Oh no, we didn't know about this at all.
I don't think you suspected that this was a thing. Although, you've heard tell of people making it through and getting incredible knowledge, for sure. Those are the rumors that you're going by, which is why you're here. But you didn't specifically hear about this big thing in your way. I wonder why that is. Don't know. But again, you can totally roll for a hunt to see if you can recall anything or find anything that'll kind of give you like, some help here. It just depends on the specific question you'd like to ask.
Yeah.
Angle for a hunt by kind of like because it was attracted by the commotion of the demon beings out there. I
Mhm.
think, and let me know if this goes into risk roll territory. I think I'd like to like try to do a hunt by kind of like seeing how it like if it follows my movements, or if I like throw something over there, does it go over there, or like, how does it interact with us when we interact with the environment? Like if we like,
It would definitely prompt a risk roll because of the movement, for sure. Yeah.
is it my little buddy doesn't have any wings yet. Doesn't fly with probably.
Not really. I mean, like we're talking again. It's the size of a cat
Yeah.
because it's brothers and sisters or mom. Like we're whatever. We're like almost the size of a human. Yeah.
Mhm.
So I mean, it doesn't have anything. Maybe like a little bit of fluff on its skin, but I mean, like it's you know.
So
Yeah.
I guess I'm gonna because I have that ritual, but I want to test it out without casting it first. So I think I'm gonna like coax my little buddy nearby, which shouldn't be too hard, and just kind of like launch him into the air, like not towards the guardian, but like see if the guardian follows his movement through the air. Because if I can float by, that would be cool. If it's just like following the flicky flacky of the, or like go
Wait.
first, buddy.
Wait, the distraction is to throw the chick up in the air,
Well,
and then you're gonna
it's less of
moonlight. You're gonna moonlight your way across.
it's less of a distraction and more of a test to see like does it track its movement as it goes.
I'm sorry. That's just. God. Oh my God.
Go first. I'll follow
It just
you.
feels like we're going into Merkborg territory. Is what I'm saying. I'm thinking. I honestly don't know. It's just humorous enough to make me want just to be a hunt roll, but it also makes me want to say it's like that's pretty freaking risky. I'm just saying. And if you're using your ritual, automatically that's risk.
Yeah, this is just a test to see like if the ritual is worth the risk.
Oh. Okay. God.
Does the guardian follow the
Mhm.
luff
Oh man.
through the air?
I'm just gonna give it to you because I can't stand it. Yeah, I mean, the guardian is like is tracking the movement of this chick that's just kind of like what like in the air,
So
and
floating over is probably not a
proceeds to land like wherever it lands. I mean, not very gracefully because I mean, like it does try to flap, but it's just really weak.
don't move. Flying over is not safe either.
And like it's almost like it understands because it's kind of like squawks and then just kind of like stays still.
Hey,
Like you got it to sit, whatever. So this chat. Gwon, as Masero's trying this very hilarious thing that they're doing, what are you doing?
I think I'm studying this place. I'm looking for kind of I perceive this to be like a magical guardian that is powered by a ritual. So I look around, see if there's like any indication of runes of things we could alter to change its behavior.
Okay.
Whether it be like in the garden itself or on the guardian themselves. And
Here's where I as a fellow player, not the GM, are like crossing my fingers and my toes for you because You could find something really good here, but we'll see.
Okay.
Yeah. So I think as you're like you're surveying around, like you just see these wonderful things. You see the garden of bone and coral, like there's withered corpses and scattered animal remains, but somehow among all of this, there's still some kind of like sinister beauty. As you're taking a look around and seeing what's in your surroundings, and even the Leviathan's ribs leading up to this place, you can even make out there's some scrimshaw hieroglyphics on it, like runes and star charts that you may or may not have seen before. So yeah, there's valuable things to find. So, in making your hunt roll, what are you using in terms of equipment or one of your skills? What do you think?
I'm using rituals as a skill.
Perfect. You would recognize like some things that could be useful to you. All right, and then you've asked the question, so go ahead and roll 2 on your hunt roll, please.
That's a 6.
Yes. Okay. Hunt roll 6. Brilliant. And this is for Gwon. Okay. So, get a token, but if you want to trade it in to find something that will be useful, I will totally give you something very useful.
I think so. Yeah.
Okay.
No, you've teased me. That's
Sorry.
much.
I mean, like, I don't mean to, like, kind of, like, make this, like, kind of pushing it at you, but, I mean, I was
going to get collectively 3 tokens, but now I have to spend that one. I just earned.
Yeah. Because I think among the garden, it's not quite close to the temple guardian, so it's not tracking anything nearby. So maybe you've turned away from the guardian, you're actually looking at the garden itself. I think among the coral and bone, I think you'll see something shimmering with a different light, with a different iridescence. And it is something of shimmering eel skin, studded with pale crystals. Do you have... I hate to ask this because you're a mannequin. Do you give out any kind of body heat whatsoever?
Probably not. Maybe the creatures within me do
yes.
to very, very low degree,
Okay. All right. Well, I'm going to say, like, if you kind of like... if you... The chat says the heat of internal decomposition like a compost heap. Okay, all right. Anyway, whatever heat you're giving off, you'll start to notice like a weak light starting to come from the crystals on this, what looks like a belt. And you will feel a lightning. You're holding this thing. You didn't maybe not necessarily put it on yet, but I mean, you hold this thing and you immediately feel this lightning. As if you are, like, not weighed down by the barnacle beetles, you're not weighed down by the vermin that live inside you. You just feel like this whole sense of being above the ground. And maybe, just maybe, you're not sure, like you look down at your feet, and maybe they not quite touching?
Mm-hmm.
Maybe? So, yeah, that's what you find. All right, so put in your found equipment, Sky Dancer's belt.
Ooh.
Cool.
Okay, so that's what you find. I want to find out what happened to Hudjar first before we break for Stars and Wishes. So Hudjar, please tell me. What has happened to you since you chased after Hadyet, your sister?
I think there's going to be a sort of ring 5 confrontation. I'm heading for the heart of where the knowledge is held inside the whale's skull, and I know that I'm going to face her face to face, and she's going to try and stop me getting what I need to pay the reparations to the god that she has been attempting to keep sealed up, and I have been trying to release. She's too is from magical stock. You know, she knows like plenty of spells, but she's basically been trying to undo my sort of work, and she needs to get out of the way so that I can make reparations to my god.
What is the shadow telling you? I mean, it's been whispering all the while, and it's practically roaring in your ear as you chase after Hadyet. What is your shadow telling you?
I think it's like, you know, it comes back into the totem again. And maybe she made the totem actually, and it always ends up coming back to the totem. It's drawn back into the totem.
Man.
And it says, "Praise me, pay your debts."
Beautiful. Okay. All right. So, yeah, I don't want to end up getting into combat or like, into more more risky roles at the moment. So we're going to end here. Um, Hudjar chasing after Hadyet and Gwon finding the beautiful find and Masero, trying to make sure that that chick stays quiet and still. Otherwise, you're going to get some really bad attention from that guardian. So, all right. We leave you all at the Bone Garden, and Hudjar like trying to face off against her own sister. So we'll see how this goes next session. Okay. Can we call the chick Vulture Top? Sure, if that's the name you'd like. Oh my gosh. Yeah. So
In chat, maybe.
in chat,
Not in-
right? Stars and wishes. Stars are things that you really loved about today's session, regardless of failures. And wishes are what you'd like to see for next time. Wow. Amazing.
I think I'll start.
Okay.
I had a lot of fun. I'm impressed that Masero is still around, didn't die. Because you helped so often, and I thought, okay, now, or then the interactions with the vultures. And then going with your newly adopted baby vulture, that was really cool. And yeah, the reveal of your sister, your twin sister, that was amazing. Hudjar. I also really liked the way you portrayed the world, Matt. The vibes were immaculate. And especially when we were processing not too well, you decided, okay, now we're in the next set, and it's really dangerous. So you didn't stall or anything, or didn't say, okay, now we have to spend more and more and more time. So it was pretty interesting, and I liked it a lot. Yeah, in terms of wishes, I think I definitely want to see the confrontation between the twins, and I'm curious to see how long Masero will make it.
Yeah, same. This was super fun, like really tense. Like every time, was it like little Russian roulette? um, yeah, the bridge is like super creepy, and yeah, like I felt every step going over there. Love my little baby bird buddy. Hope they don't cause too much trouble with the big guy. They will. Yeah, the twin reveal, super fun. I really love that, and I really like Ron's Anakin's always a good time. And wishes are just like, if I survive through here, just to see what's next up. And if not, we'll see how it goes.
James, you want me to go or you want to go?
I think I can just say, like, I mean, I just thought, given that we didn't really have a lot of success, we made a lot of like really good lemonade out of all them lemons, you know.
Yes.
Yeah, I agree. It was just so like writhing with life, and it just really felt like very rich and vibrant. And I like the kind of solutions that I like that everyone's very committed to using the conditions to make more devil's bargains. And I think we've done a very good job as a group of making new devil's bargains and like leaning in on the drives, which has been very rewarding. And my wish is I want a ring 5. I want ring 5 inside the skull. You know, Masero and Hudjar both on
Oh yeah,
ruin 5.
I get it.
One's the
Yeah.
only one of us that has any chance of surviving. I don't know. I also, my wish is as well to have a big fight of some kind, because I can survive a fight and I want to have one. But also I'd kind of like to retire Hudjar in the next session as well.
Okay. I mean, like here's my question, because conceivably, I mean, like, we could cut immediately to that confrontation and make that a straight contest roll. You against your sister, and then just see who, like, and you're basically facing off against me, so, I'm gonna
I feel
use your, I'm gonna use
I
your
feel
like your uh stats, whatever, because she's kind of like you, but good, or good, whatever that means in Naganese. I don't know.
I guess I don't really want to be too narcissistic. So as long as it doesn't interrupt, I don't want to steal too much like oxygen from everyone else. So I think
Oh
my
no.
my my solution, my wish is I don't want it to be something. I want it to be that part of their story as well. So I guess that's the only thing I'm mindful of is I want it to be a complex situation that everyone has to sort of deal with, basically.
I
But
mean, we
I
could
don't know.
do.
I guess what I don't want is I don't want it to feel like it's a distraction for Michael and for Mark.
I love you're super good.
Yeah, I mean, even if we make it a contest roll, and like, see who survives. This is how I picture it. Depending on who survives, that's who meets Gwon and Masero once they make it past the Guardian. So it
Yeah.
could be
Oh, that's
Hudjar,
good.
it could be
That's
Hadjet.
good. Oh, I love no. That's it. That's perfect. Yeah. So do it first. Then yeah.
Yes.
No, that's perfect because then it's not taking anything away
No,
from everyone
absolutely not.
else. Yeah.
Right.
I love it. Yeah. Okay. Cool.
Yeah, because like, like one and done contest roll, we'll see who's the victor. I can't
Let's
wait.
do
I
it.
mean, that's
That's
gonna be
amazing.
hilarious. So, yeah. I'm sorry. Like, was that part of your wish? Do you have any other wishes?
I just wanted to see how much we can sort of milk out of this last session because I
Oh
think there's a
yeah.
lot of potential.
Oh God, yes, yes. I don't see it being too hard. Well, it'll be hard, but it'll be enough to get the other two in. But I mean, like, again, to see who greets them at the end, that'll be great. I can't wait. That'll be wonderful. Built in. You just created like your own built-in, like, backup character, Hudjar, so it'll be great. Um, so stars for, again, that reveal for the twin sister. Love it, love it, love it. Um, Masero for just continually helping and just riding that edge. Oh my God. And then now having a baby vulture pet out of it. Wow. Yeah. Complex guy. Complex guy. I mean, I didn't think I was gonna like him in the beginning, but I actually do now. He's grown on me, so I kind of like want to see how far he makes it through the end. I really do. And Gwon is great. Gwon is awesome. I mean, just the whole, like, really digging into the nest and the manikin background. So I mean, just this creepy but yet kind of weirdly relatable in some weird way. I'm not sure how. But just, yeah, I mean, just want to see more of what Gwon is going to do. And then, like, taking on the barnacles as armor was great. So that decision was an awesome fictional positioning for your character, and it makes perfect sense. I mean, why not? You're gonna have a symbiotic relationship with beetles, damn straight, for sure. Um, do 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 do. Um, and then I think, yeah, wishes. Again, like, we'll do, yeah, risk roll. Yeah, that's fine too. I mean, like, I understand that I, as a keeper, can't do the contest roll, um, since I need to have ruin. But I mean, whatever it takes, we will see who will be the victor that will greet Masero and Gwon in the next game, in the next session, and then we'll see about you two getting past the Guardian and then finding yourselves in the glowing sanctuary. And then, yeah, what you get out of there. I can't wait. I mean, and it's built in. A lot of this stuff that I was building from the world is built in. Gabriel Robinson has beautiful writing, as always. And it's very easy to move you from one area to the next and have these moments, have these props, have these different things that engage you into the world itself, as well as make you endangered by it. So it's beautiful. And that whole thing about moving you straight from Leviathan's Bridge into the Bone Garden, yeah, that's built in. You guys, as I said, I think to Marc initially, was like, if you have repeated failures, it's not going to be good. You're going to, yeah, just going to go straight into the Bone Garden. So, and that worked out really well. And that's one of the reasons why I really like this incursion. It's like, I guess there's no help for it. I mean, like, you guys are just moving straight from the bridge right into the right into the dangerous part. All right, fabulous. So,
I just remembered,
yeah.
I've got a question, but
Yeah.
please finish first.
No, I mean, that was pretty much it. I mean, like, just wishing to see how you guys deal, whether you all make it, or if something happens and then Hudjar becomes Hadyet, or Masero like just happens to be, taken out by the Guardian. I hope not. But if he does, I mean, like, a rando meeting you in in the glowing sanctuary. Who knows? It's happened before. Oh, and the other thing that I really enjoyed, like, stars for this, even though they're kind of weird, is just this weird way it was kind of vibing into some Merkborg in here. It was the funniest thing, and I'm just like, when did we go into that game? Okay. This is really odd, but it really worked for some weird reason in this particular session. So I had fun. What was your question?
Regarding equipment, I've got a mystery scroll, and I wonder
yes.
how that works. Is it just any ritual, or can I roll it out, or can I pick it?
If you want to add to your rituals, I forget if it, I mean, usually it tells you, like, the game will tell you, it's like you automatically add a point of ruin if you learn a new ritual, right? It gives you enough of vagueness for the scroll tube with the mystery scroll to be able to say it's something that you find, or it gives you a piece of information, or, you know.
It doesn't have to be a ritual.
It doesn't have to be a ritual itself.
Okay,
but I will say, if you do make it into a ritual as something that you learn, in, like, within game, then you're probably going to incur some ruin because of it. Because rituals are dangerous, inherently dangerous. So, yeah. I mean, I will allow it, but again, you will have that extra point of ruin for having learned it.
I wasn't sure if it's just a one-time thing and I don't have to add ruin, or if it's actually something I learn and then I add ruin.
Yeah, I mean, like, if you... Yeah, we don't really follow the dragon game rules on this. It's like, oh, you read it off of the scroll and it's done.
Yeah.
You use it up. It's like, no, I think in this case, because doing a ritual is inherently dangerous, I think learning the ritual gives you some closeness to the dark. closeness to the forest in overall, right?
That's cool.
So yeah, that's the sense I have. And if I've broken that rule before, then I apologize. But I mean, like, it just feels like it makes more sense fictionally to have you incur some ruin because you're learning something dark and
Yeah,
dangerous.
I'm pretty sure there's nothing written on that particular item, so I really
Okay.
like your
Or even
interpretation
like
or your
it,
ruling.
or like, you know, like I've seen people like will take some of their backpack equipment and give it to an NPC to like make a bargain, make a trade, da da da, like in that kind of usage. So it's fictionally positioned, gives you a little bit of like, you know, some engagement with someone, but it doesn't have to be a named found thing or a ritual that you learn, right? It can be whatever you want. But
Cool.
if it does become a named thing, there's going to be some costs associated with it. Yeah.
That's cool.
Okay. So thank you all for joining me today. This is so much fun. I hope you had a great time. And we will finish off for our next session. Holy crap. Cannot believe that. And I can't wait to see what you guys do with it. Oh my God. It's going to be hilarious. So be prepared. Be prepared for danger, fun, and just all out mayhem. Yeah, it's going to be huge. Absolutely. I can't wait. You guys are great. So have a great week. Happy gaming, and I will see you next time.
Bye.
Thanks,
Bye,
everyone.
everyone.
Thank
Bye.
you.